Alright, hello everybody, Resonance here, and today we'll be showcasing two different Grimy Goons Handbuff Paladin decks. If you're not familiar with Hearthstone, but you'd still like to support the channel anyway, I highly encourage you to watch my tutorial on the basics first. Link in the video description below, or in the Twitch chat. I'm going to leave it here right now. So, the question that we hope to answer today is what exactly happened to the Grimy Goons, and what kind of decks are those cards best in? The Hearthstone expansion, Mean Streets of Gadgetzan, focused on three different tri-class mechanics. The Grimy Goons revolving around buffing cards in your hand for the Paladin, Warrior, and Hunter classes. First, I'm going to briefly show you my budget Paladin list in case you'd like to try out the mechanic. Here we are on Budget Handbuff Paladin. This deck list is very cheap in case this is something that you'd like to try. And then after this, we're going to take a look at the other two Paladin decks that I've built and take those for a spin, as well as just, discuss the viability of the handbuff mechanic as a whole. Alright, the first list that I wanted to showcase, we're going to start with the Divine Shield Handbuff Paladin. So, in the Tempo Storm meta snapshot, the current one, it lists the Divine Shield Handbuff Paladin as Tier 4 and the Dragon Handbuff Paladin as Tier 5. These are actually the only handbuff decks in the meta snapshot because they are the most consistent. Handbuffing for Warriors and Hunters typically only targets a random single minion in your hand, whereas the Paladin buff cards affect all minions in your hand, giving it that added consistency. Now we're going to check out the Dragon Paladin one. So, the handbuff mechanic is easily my favorite from the expansion, and I've had a blast trying to figure out the most optimal lists. My lists are a bit different than the Tempo Storm ones as I've been experimenting, and I encourage all of you to try out your own unique theories. After the nerfs to Smalltime Buccaneer and Spirit Claws, some aggressive decks are now a bit slower, so handbuff decks might be able to find a place in the metagame. Without further ado, let's try out these two decks. I'm going to start with the Divine Shield Paladin deck, and then we're going to play the Dragon one after that. I'll also discuss some of my card choices in the list in just a moment, as you may have noticed that I have some pretty snazzy ones in here. So, the subscriber sound might not be working for some reason, but thank you so much, Melanie, for subscribing to me on Twitch, as well as EC Lion for the resub as well. Well, on the stream for Bricks. So while I sit in queue, one of the other reasons that handbuff Paladin decks, or just handbuff decks in general, have struggled a bit competitively is that the metagame right now is just too fast. In some matchups, you typically die before you get any real value out of your large minions, as buffing them in your hand forfeits an early turn. Handbuffing is such a fun mechanic, and it really is much better than it seems, especially for players with limited collections. So the hope is with this video that it inspires everyone to continue innovating and experimenting, because you might just be the person to find the handbuff deck that breaks the meta. So when it comes to mulligans, we're definitely not keeping the more expensive cards. I think it's probably okay to keep Wicker Flame and Acolyte. That's probably fine. Alright, yeah. I think this is a reasonable start. You may have noticed, because of course, not only is my content supposed to be somewhat educational, but I also want to just show people really how I have fun playing Hearthstone. Because I know that most of you are Age of Empires fans and whatnot, and super competitive, or some of you are casual Age of Empires fans, and it's hard for people to really look at Hearthstone and be like, how on earth can you enjoy this game? There's so much randomness in it. And I think that the answer is that Hearthstone is the type of game that's most fun when you're, building your own decks and experimenting, and you're not really taking it too seriously. Well, this is a little awkward for me, but I think that so this is kind of the mechanic that the deck is based around, on Grind Street Outfitters. We're going to do this. Buff these bad boys. See, this is actually pretty sick synergy, right? Acolyte of Pain, whenever this minion takes damage, draw a card, and now I basically am guaranteed to get another card, or at least I'm more likely to. And then the whole Divine Shield thing, cards like Argent Horse Rider are really good at abusing the whole handbuff mechanic. This is my health at the bottom, by the way, his health at the top. If you're, super new. It's the best way to remove this board. So I can drop the Acolyte right now and start seriously drawing some cards, because next turn I can coin out Grime Street Enforcer. That seems pretty nice, right? This saves me the most health, but it doesn't really deal with this. At least in this case, he's going to have to trade in both minions, so I think that's fine. I might die here, as, spoiler alert, this deck is weak to Jade Midrange Shaman, but then again, isn't everything, so... Oh! Yeah, definitely my favorite part of Hearthstone is Theorycrafting. I spend, most of my day just reading about cards and trying new decks. I think that creative deck building is an incredibly fun problem-solving exercise. So that's why today is about janky handbuff decks. trying something until it sticks. And I'm beginning to think the True Silver Champion here is, well, is that better or worse than Grime Street Enforcer? If I don't coin out Grime Street Enforcer this turn, then I feel like I'm just not playing it, period, right? I might force some removal. Actually, no, I think that coin Grime Street Enforcer is fine here. Because he can't kill it. It's gonna force some removal, I think. They tend to do that indeed, McKay. I love playing Hearthstone. I spend a really big chunk of my day just playing this game. On the stream, Goldie Apparatus. So yeah, it definitely means a lot to me when those of you just take the time to show your support for the content that I do for games beyond just Age of Empires 2. Helps maintain my sanity and also, improve the longevity of the channel. And when I do stuff like Hearthstone, helps show... Almost everyone grew up playing Age of Empires, right? And by doing content for other games, I'm reminding people that, hey, Age of Empires is still a thing. So it also helps grow the AoE community a bit, too. And I think Hearthstone's a game that everyone would enjoy if they took it a little less seriously. This is bad for me. I feel like Consecration sucks here. I think this is okay. Would I buff that first? I guess that's fine.
Accidents, they happen, Don't worry, loves. The cavalry's here. Yeah!
I think this is fine. This is obviously really strong with hand buffs. So, just because I'm a memer and I like to run weird cards just for pure experimental purposes, ever since I crafted Lorewalker... Oh shit, he's playing Evolve. Alright, so... Major respect for Nanu Plays. I like his deck a lot. It's not actually mid-range Jade Shaman. It is some sort of Jade Evolve Shaman, so major respect. This is a threat. I need to remove this. I'll explain why I have Lorewalker Cho in the deck in a little bit. Do I consecrate here? It's very hard to talk through my plays while actually playing the game. I don't think I need to Lorewalker Cho here. I don't even necessarily need to kill this, but I probably should. I mean, that's really strong, right? I actually might just, True Silver Hero Power. I think it makes more sense to remove this than it does that.
Burn.
Even though I don't want to give him additional value, I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. So I actually have Lorewalker Cho in this deck. And the reason that I have Lorewalker Cho is it's that 2-mana 0/4 Panda guy that... So he can't attack because he has 0 attack, and his ability is that whenever a player casts a spell, add a copy of it to the other player's hand. So obviously that card is terrible, because you play it and then you can't play spells the rest of the game. The hope is that you're restricting your opponent from playing spells, because you don't want to give your opponent all that value, all the free stuff that you just played, so hopefully you're restricting them from playing any sort of spell card. Why would I put it in this deck? Well, I have almost no spells. I have, what, like 2 Consecrates, I have Equality, and then, what, some Smuggler's runs? So, I have very, very few actual spells to give my opponent. In addition to that, I can buff Lorewalker Cho in my hand without having to play like a Blessing of Kings on him, thus turning him into a Kung Fu Panda where he's capable of fighting back, and I don't have to give my opponent the spell. That's pretty sick. More often than not, if you get Lorewalker Cho large enough, they have to use a removal spell on him, and then I get that spell for free. Do I think that's good? No. Do I think it's fun? Absolutely. And it's better than you would think. So I can't kill this Manatide no matter what, right? No, I can't. That sucks. I mean, if I do this, I'm in pretty good shape, right? Yeah, I can't really remove that Manatide in a clean way. Welcome to the stream, Inishulk. Got out-memed. I always do. That's how Hearthstone's so fun. Welcome to the stream, Mark23444. Jedi Kiko asks, hey Rez, I've seen a few negative comments surrounding the Jade Golems. What's your opinion on them? So, I think that the Jade mechanic is kind of fun to play, but I can see how it'd be frustrating to play against. Particularly, I don't like how how strong it is versus control matchups and fatigue decks. So decks that are really slow. The Jade mechanic itself is slow. I feel like they could have done something more interesting with it. We only have like one card, Jade Chieftain, that like gives Jade Golems Taunt, for example. I don't think it's as bad as everyone says it is for the game, but because we still have control decks, it's just I feel like it's such a polarizing mechanic. I don't like that it crowds out all the control decks. Oh Jesus, I have to pick between which one I want to kill. This is not even that good. I probably have to kill the Flame Tongue. I mean, at this point, I'm just giving him so many cards for free. I think I could also play this and then turn it into a 3/3. Is that good? I think that's fine.
None may steal our secrets.
None may steal our secrets. Also, this game's just so happy, positive, and fun. It's my favorite game to unwind after a long day of work. I really encourage people to try games like Hearthstone with an open mind. I know it's mainstream. There's a reason why. It's because it's fun as hell. If you can't understand why people enjoy it, you're probably treating it like the wrong kind of game, I guess. I don't know.
That was a mistake.
An error, to be sure.
Well. So I need to kill Bran. Always kill Bran. Oh, this is so dirty. I mean, what's he gonna...
Not in my house.
Why play Handbuff decks, you ask? Because look at this. I also encourage people to try Wild too, as that's just the blast. Yeah, I mean, I understand why people don't like Jade decks that much, particularly decks like Jade Druid, because it just kills like an entire archetype. I don't think it destroys the game, but obviously I prefer that, you know, they are a little bit careful with things like infinite Jade Golems, which is not fun to play against, even if it is kind of cute to play. Well, probably just go face here if I want to. I just don't know if I'm that kind of guy. I think I am that kind of guy, though. I mean, what's he gonna do? He's gonna have to trade into Sagoth, and then he's gonna have another Hex for this guy, doesn't he?
Put your faith in the light.
Reporting for duty. Wild is pretty wild, man. Pineapple says, it feels like you could use a Wild Pyromancer in that deck. In my deck, I completely agree. In fact, I was experimenting with Wild Pyromancers in this build for quite a long time. Honestly, the Lorewalker Cho is... It's acceptable. That's the best part. It's not good, it's not going to improve your win rate at all, but it's acceptable. The fact that it works maybe like 40% of the time is... That's plenty for me, man. It's worth it. I think that could be a Wild Pyromancer. I think Wild Pyromancer is fine with hand buffs. It allows you... You know, you've got Smuggler's Run to trigger off of it, and you got Equality for a guaranteed board clear. I feel like I consecrate here. I know it's not good, but, I mean, it's never getting better than this. This guy's also good with hand buffs, the Fairy Dragon. Fairy Dragon should probably be Flame Juggler or something like that, but the fact that Flame Juggler always misses just drives me crazy, so I prefer this. Should I trade here? Should probably trade here.
Not in my house.
Yeah. Get him, boys. On the stream twists. The dragon list, I'll talk a little bit more about how that list compares to this one after. I personally, in my experience, I felt like it... What I love about experimenting and, you know, not really going off people's net decks is that through my journey of exploring all the different ways hand buffing could be built, I reached the conclusion that the dragon one is actually legitimately viable. And it so turns out, when I saw it on the meta snapshot and I saw the Divine Shield one there, I was like, yes, the 2 builds of Handbuff Paladin I got to work are actually there now. Probably just gonna go face here. He didn't really seem to have an answer. I don't even necessarily need to play more minions at this point. Probably save him. That way I'm playing around some big removal. Maybe he's one of those fellows that plays Elemental Destruction or something. Well, I think I got this guy, so that's nice. Very nice. I used to try, like, laddering all the time and getting to Legend, and I felt like that was, there's a lot of skill in Hearthstone. I do firmly believe that. It's just that the way the ladder experience is set up right now, it makes it difficult for me to enjoy it taking it too seriously, you know? Because, you end up having to play basically the same deck for most of the grind, and it takes quite a few games. You can't get to Legend if you're bad, so it's not like you need a lot of time to do it, but it's not like having all the time in the world will guarantee that you get there. You only have a month. It's just that I get the most enjoyment out of Hearthstone with like creative deck building and trying new decks all the time, and that's not a good way to get to Legend. The highest rank I've gotten to is like the top of rank 3. Oh no, you overwrote my True Silver. Well played. Nice. Since this is the start of the season, I'm a little bit on the lower side of things. And now, let's briefly showcase the deck list again, and then we're gonna jump into the next game. So, this was the one we were just playing. This guy's definitely optional. I think that there's plenty of room for variety and experimentation here, so I really encourage people to try something crazy. Obviously, things like Argent Commander and Argent Horse Rider are like the two main staples of the deck. It's just really strong with hand buffs because they have Charge and Divine Shield, so it's like a 2-for-1 on steroids. And then we have things like Acolyte of Pain and whatnot. Doppelgangster, really great card. So yes, now the next one is going to be our Dragon Paladin list, which is again a little bit different than the Tempest Storm one. I had a lot of success with this list because it allows you to run some really just excellent value 2-drops that have bodies that work really well with the hand buff mechanics, like Fairy Dragon can't be targeted by spells, or Hero Powers makes it incredibly obnoxious to remove if it gets big, and then this guy's got a great body if you buff her up. And yeah, this list has just significantly more removal. It's got the Dawn in it, so yeah, it allows me to run the Dragon package, which is quite snazzy. So let's try that again. If I win both of these games, that is really uncharacteristic for me, as whenever I'm recording, I lose all the games and I play really badly because I'm trying to talk while play. You have to be pretty good at the game against Legend with Pirate Warrior. Even though Pirate Warrior is, I suppose, one of the easier decks to understand. It still requires some finesse. Thank you so much, The Fury, for the 11-month resub. For some reason, my sound notifications are not working because I guess Streamlabs updated their stuff. Alright, drop Megalodon. There's Trump who's thought that, do they ever keep Elder Peacekeeper? Honestly, maybe I do. Because if they play Totem Golem or something like that, and I get a 2-drop, I think I actually want Elder Peacekeeper, yeah. Yeah, I think it was like Trump who said that Don Honcho would be like crazy, and I do think that Don Honcho is decent. Like his body is threatening enough, and that he turns something else into a threat. But the thing is with all these hand buff decks, oh, Shaman's always aggro. If this is not aggro, I'd love to save this, but no, I'm gonna do it. This goes against everything I was raised to do. My value. Don Honcho is actually pretty good. He turns another card in your hand into a threat, and he's a threat in himself. The problem with him, just like with all the hand buff decks, is that they're pretty slow, you know? You have to forfeit that early turn, and Don Honcho just doesn't come out early enough. Sometimes you're dead before you can even play him. That's why I kind of like the Dragon package over the other one, is I feel like I'm able to run more quality 2-drops and whatnot, and just more quality early game. I have more removal. And better late game too, but then again, like, the Divine Shield one offers some better board control in the sense that, you know, I got the Divine Shield guys that can just kind of charge in there. So, yeah, I think they're both good lists. I really feel like, though, that these lists need refining, and that it's up to the community to see what can be done. So I'm definitely going to kill that. This is good. It appears like his opening has not been that insane. Welcome to the stream, Vegicide. Vegicide asked if I have Sergeant Sally in this deck. Thank you for asking. Please do continue to ask me questions, guys. Helps keep the conversation flowing. Yeah, because this is one I was probably going to forget to talk about otherwise. So Sergeant Sally ended up cutting from both Handbuff Paladin lists, unfortunately, and my Warrior deck, and that just breaks my heart, because Sergeant Sally is such a fun card. Back in the Slammer. She's seriously, like, such a blast to play. And I think she's okay. It's just that I think in the optimal list you don't want her because she is unbelievably slow. And that's something coming from me, the greediest player in existence. Oh, that's why we kept you. Follow the rules. Boop. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, Sergeant Sally just seems like so slow. I guess like the thing is that all the cards I'm playing here are okay cards on their own, or they're good cards on their own. Sergeant Sally is not a good card on her own. She needs to be buffed, and if she's ever not buffed, she's terrible. That's the problem. So I tried so hard to get her to work, and I think she's okay. She's also fun to power overwhelming, but you know, just couldn't really get it to stick. Obviously, this is coming from the guy who put Lord Walker Cho in the deck, but you know, Lord Walker Cho's in there for fun rather than for serious reasons. So my question is, should I trade into this or just start bashing his head in? I don't really think I get... I mean, I lose the Flame Tongue Totem if I don't trade here, right? I guess I'll play the 5/5. Yeah, I guess I lose the Flame Tongue Totem, so... I want to start pressuring him. One of the nice things about the handbuff decks, too, particularly the Paladin list, is that against an aggro deck, you know, you just need to... you know, a deck that's trying to kill you really... There we go. Boom! Years of experience coming into play here. We played around it. The thing with the handbuff decks that's really nice, particularly this list, or any of the handbuff paladins, is that if you're playing versus aggro, a deck that's trying to kill you, you want to play the handbuffs more aggressively and not really care about how many things they buff. If you're playing against control, like a priest, I hold like the Smuggler's Run in my hand for quite some time, and I make sure that I get as much value out of them as possible, and I have actually fatigued a control war here, as well as a control priest with this specific deck. The question is I probably have to trade here. Or could not. How do I get punished for not doing that? No, that's pretty bad. That means I'm going to be taking 7 damage or something. That's probably... I probably have to trade here. Feels bad now. It's been a real exercise for me to not be absurdly greedy beyond belief. As there are a few things that are more fun to me than a 2-for-1. So... Need a light. Armillo after this. It's pretty snazzy. Of course, Brand Bronzebeard plus Nether Spite is just enough to beat most late game decks. I mean, yeah, I've fatigued Reno decks too, so this deck can go late if it doesn't die early. Well, I don't really have a clean answer to this, so I think it's time to start ignoring it, or maybe just go for the Flame Tongue instead. Next turn is Tyrion for sure. I think this is fine. I think he probably Nether Spite first most of the time, but I don't think I would have gotten anything that would have changed the order in which I played. Ooh. Okay. I don't think there's a single dragon, though, that I would have rather played. The optimal one I was looking for was Twilight Guardian, which I already have. Kigo asked about the viability of Nozdormu. So here's the thing. Nozdormu is one of those... I encourage people to keep an open mind, because most cards that are supposedly joke cards actually have some sort of fringe competitive usage. It just depends on the metagame. Nozdormu, though, is one of those unique cases in that decreasing your opponent's turn timer to 15 seconds has almost no competitive application whatsoever. It's just something your opponent can play around simply by not being AFK. So that's definitely more of a fun card. That being said, it can disrupt combos, I guess, but, you know, it's... Okay, so if I play this now, I'm not playing around Hex. Whereas if I play this or something like that, I'm playing around Hex like a boss. Maybe I save this and I drop this now. Don't hit that, because he'll just heal. Yeah. I want him to Hex this, that way when the Tyrion, the 10-10 Tyrion comes down, we're good. 14-14 Deathwing, alright, alright. It's a 5-star deck for a 5-star person. Oh, jeez. I just had to ask, how about Angry Chicken? Oh man, you're in the right place. You're at the right channel. I want to see the viability of Angry Chicken. I haven't got it to work yet in Handbuff Hunter, but stay tuned, Vegicide. We're working on it. Leave no stone unturned.
Last warning.
Last warning. So this tells me he doesn't have Hex.
Last warning.
I'm going to be operating under that assumption. Because I'm going to stop trading now, and I'm going to play 10-10 Tyrion Ford Ring. Oh, this deck... See, I'm telling you, if you don't die early, this deck is disgusting. It's so much fun. So much fun. Value is my middle name, and Handbuff Paladin is one of the most fun things I've played. I think one of my favorite memories, one of the most fun moments I've had so far, was definitely beating one of the Blizzard devs with that stupid meme Cthulhu deck at BlizzCon. That was so much fun. She was playing like a really standard handlock list. I mean, I say standard, but this is after the Molten Giant nerfs. And then I played a Cthulhu Grim Patron Spreading Madness Warlock, and that was a blast. She thought my deck list was really funny and creative. There's more to Hearthstone than winning. It's the adventure, man. I can Deathwing to clear my own board at any point.
Don't test me, child.
I wonder if there's some sort of merit in removing Bran Bronzebeard, or if that's just bad. But, I mean, I don't know what he can do to me. It's probably like... He'll play that one thing that heals him for 6, like Ginyu Water Speaker. If I play this, I lose to Elemental Destruction or something. So I'm just gonna do this, I guess. Yeah, I lose to, like, Spell Power plus Elemental Destruction. I don't know. I mean, I say I lose to very loosely, as in, I think this guy is screwed in magnitude different ways. John Fist asks, which Deathwing do you think is better, usually? That's a great question. So, I think it's situational, but I like the one that clears the board and discards my hand, rather than Deathwing Dragonlord. I think Deathwing Dragonlord is... You know, it runs into the Raza... Not Raza, what's the other one? Cruelly Unshackled. It runs into the Cruelly Unshackled problem where you, I told you, these decks are legit. Where it forces you to, like, overcommit to a board, but that being said, it's like a death rattle, so I think it's fine. Yeah, I think that Deathwing Dragonlord is a fine card, too. It's just that I typically value the, you know, wipe the board thing more, and you just play it when you don't have anything in your hand you care about, than I do throwing all the stats. But I think that they're both actually pretty good cards, because it's like a death rattle, right? You can do all sorts of stuff with that, and it doesn't put all the stats out at the same time. Miss out on some battle cries, but it's all good. Thank you so much, Rexel, for the 28-month resub, as well as Makobo for the 6-month resub. I gotta fix my subscriber notifications. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed my little video on the Handbuff Paladins. Let me know again. Please do leave a comment on YouTube telling me your experiences playing the Grimy Goons, Mean Streets of Gadgetzan, what you thought of this video. Hopefully you enjoyed my commentary and found it useful and entertaining in some way. This just goes to show that I think, again, like the most fun that you can have in Hearthstone is when you're not net decking and you're just coming up with creative decks. I like to look at a card, you know, and I ask myself, how would Blizzard want me to use Getaway Kodo? And then just try and build a deck around that. Always, always a blast. You know, that's how I've ended up with such creative monstrosities such as Resonance 22, Wild Mech Warrior, with you build an infinitely large Arcane Nullifier and your opponent concedes. It's got Curator synergy, because why not? Or Feign Death Hunter. This is one I've been having a blast with recently. Apparently, Baron Rivendare, if you use Feign Death, Baron Rivendare makes the Death Rattle trigger twice. So, okay. And of course, for those of you who are a little bit low on the dust department, this is my recommended budget list currently. Ascension Shieldmaster is your friend, True Silver Champion, excellent budget card as well. Every Paladin deck, or most of them, in your new wants a Consecration, slapping some equality. This guy, great with the buffs. Also great budget card, keeps you alive, good with buffs. Elder Peacekeeper is absolutely excellent. Of course, I encourage you not to craft Lorewalker Cho for this list, but if you just happen to have it, then I say why not? Oh my goodness. Deathwing would have given me Ashbringer for lethal. Is that true? Did I actually miss... I miss lethal in every single video. You know, I'll have to go back and watch that, but I believe you. So I could have Deathwing to kill my own Tyrion Fordring to give me lethal because of Ashbringer? Well, can't blame me for missing that one. GG's indeed. If you guys enjoyed this video, I got plenty more Hearthstone content on my YouTube page, as well as videos for, obviously, Age of Empires 2 and other games. I've said this before, but you know, it goes without saying, it's not a replacement for AoE content, but it's just something that I like to do to improve the longevity of the channel. And if you really want to support the channel and see more Age of Empires content and whatnot, then this is one of the ways to do it, by checking out these videos. So, we'll be right back after the break. After the break, it's going to be some Armello with the Twitch subscribers. If you are a long-term Twitch subscriber, then this is just one of my ways of giving back to you and thanking you for your long-time support. 7 with the Azure Drake and 5 from Ashbringer. Oh my. Vegiside says I should stream Hearthstone more. I would love to. Hearthstone's one of my favorite games to play, but I really rely, again, on you guys for the support to make it all worthwhile, as even though I play Hearthstone every day, like I wake up and I just play it every day, I know that it's less popular, so I've been trying to showcase a wider variety of games. But that being said, you know, this game brings me so much intrinsic joy. In a world that is very stressful, Hearthstone always puts a smile on my face. And the whole point of my YouTube channel is to share what makes me happy with you guys, and Hearthstone makes me happy too. And I think if you give it an honest try, and you don't take it too seriously, this is a really fun game to play with friends. And my Hearthstone tutorial on the basics basically just guarantees that you get everything you need to get your, get your foot in the door and start building some fun decks. Thank you so much, Stormclouds, for subscribing with Twitch Prime. I really appreciate it, as well as Kennereth No Baka. This is 6 months already. Huh? Also, thanks, Rez, for streaming some Hearthstone. You're why I'm wasting money on this game. It's not wasting it if you enjoy it. Thank you so much, Kennereth. Seriously. I really appreciate that you managed to keep yourself for 6 months. And Stormclouds as well, thank you for the fresh sub. If you guys use Twitch Prime, you do have to manually renew it at the end of every month, but it is free to subscribe to me if you're an Amazon Prime user. Thank you as well, Vegiside, for the sub, too. Next time, I will have the sounds working. So we're going to be right back. I'm going to take like a 2-minute break, and it's going to be some Armello time. Welcome to the stream, Faust. You can, in the meantime, you can search for Hearthstone videos on my channel, but I will make a playlist for it soon. And yeah, I'll do some content, of course, on Journey to Ungoro, yes. So yeah, just, if you guys want to see more Hearthstone, please let me know. I would love to. And yeah, we'll be right back. Yeah, I'll put it on YouTube.